Hello everyone, this is April, the artist behind Invoke Art Sense. Today I bring you a 3 marker challenge video. These are my first ever Copic sketch markers. So this month's challenge colors are G29, G29, RV66. Well, G29 is pine tree green. RV66 is raspberry, and V12 is pale lilac. I already had pale lilac in Shinhan Touch brush markers, but I just wanted all of them to be Copic markers. So I do have some Copic chows, but these are my first ever Copic sketch markers, and I am excited to try them out and hope that you are excited to watch this video with me. So this video will be not mermaids. Maybe I'll do a few more mermaids later for mermaid, but I kind of fell off with that challenge wagon. I just things outside life, it just makes it hard for me to do things like that. But so I'm an English teacher, so I have 3 amazing students in my not art class. I wish I taught art, but in my English class. And so for National Teachers Day, they drew me flowers. So this is from Kevin, a student in my class. As you can see, his beautiful flower that he drew, if you can see that. And this is from Emily. She drew a rabbit, my dog, and a beautiful flower and a bird. And this is from Arthur. Arthur drew me a beautiful highlighter flower right here. So they all drew me flowers. They're the best students ever. So for kind of just appreciation to them, I want to redraw kind of similar flowers, but using these 3 colors here. So I will be drawing daisies. So kind of simple, and I'm going to be using a liner, and I picked up it's a Sepia Micron marker. I didn't even know Korea even sold these, but I found Microns in Korea at a Hot Tracks. Wow. And but so they do sell these in Korea if you're interested. But this is a A003. It's pretty small, so really fine liner here. Me being so rough, maybe it will not work so well. It won't last so long for me, but I'll try. And I'll sketch this out with my my Col-Erase Prismacolor pencil. And I want to do a full spread page here. And so the first petal will start here, and you may not be able to see. I'm not drawing the lines thickly, so you may not be able to see it. But I want to do 3 daisies, 1 representing each student. So maybe this one will be Arthur, and then Emily is the brightest one, so I think Emily should be the star of this. Maybe she'll be in the front here. And then Arthur is like the one in the back here, but he's you can hear him. And then Kevin is the strongest one, so I think Kevin should be, well, since this is a full spread, going to have maybe Kevin here. This is going to be Kevin's flower. He is the strongest one. Emily is the brightest one and the star of the show. And Arthur is the funniest one. So he'll show above all the others. So then we'll have a spread like that. So I think small liners are not very good for me because my hands shake a lot. I'm using I used a kneaded eraser, but this Col-Erase is just, it doesn't erase very well, so I'm just going with the regular eraser here. And I recently bought this from Hot Tracks, I believe it's from Germany, Staedtler, and this is pretty neat, right? An eraser, like I think a long time ago I had one of these in school. Just, I don't think I need it, but it's just cool to have. And I don't need to get rid of all the pink rose. I use rose Prismacolor Col-Erase liner or pencil. I just want to get it a little bit cleaner. I don't like all this eraser debris, but oh, and by the way, I'm going to be this is my Crescent Rendr Sketchbook that I used before, and there was a lot of feathering before, and so, but with Copic markers, I want to see how this sketchbook holds up with Copic markers. Maybe it'll be much better because Copic markers. Maybe Copic markers are not as saturated. And at my next video after this will be my scrawler unboxing April box. I finally got it in the mail. It took a month to get to me. I live in South Korea, and that's from UK. So yeah, it took a while. So, but I'm not sure when I'll do that. Maybe for Wednesday or possibly next Saturday, because you know I just get busy at work, and you know making videos is stressful. So I may go down to once a week. I'm already there. My last video was a week and a half ago. Okay, so we're gonna get started. So I'm using 3 colors. I think I want to do the flowers. Maybe the inside and the stems will be the pine tree green, and then the outside butterfly trimming will be the pine tree green. Okay, so I decided to go with the pine tree green on the edges of the butterfly, and then I'll go with the purple colors on the flowers, and then I'll do pine tree green on this blossom inside part of the daisy. I want a good contrast between well, like the green and the purple should contrast each other, and so like behind, you know, this, the colors behind this should be green, and then the colors in front of it should be purple. So far, the feathering is minimal, but it's a little bit, but I also used a thin liner. One thing I don't like about this sketchbook is that if you look closely, the texture after you color is really weird. It's too flat. So the petals here will be purple. I'll go with I should go with the lighter color first. Go with the pale lilac first. And these Copic sketch markers, they feel really great, but Copic chows are really the same thing. So if you want to save $1, go with Copic chows. But since I was only buying 3, I just wanted I just wanted to say, well, I have Copic sketch markers. They were just $1 difference between the 2 of them. And really, the price for one of these in South Korea was 5,000 won, and that's probably not even $5 on US dollars. So that's pretty cheap for one. I don't know how much Copics cost in your country, but why don't you let me know? I would be interested in finding out how much they cost in America for one, because I'm going back to America, you know, in October. You know, so how much do they cost in America? Because I've never bought them before until I got to Korea. I imagine if I bought a lot, then that 5,000 won would add up. But 3 of them cost me 15,000 won. Not even $15. The tip being firmer is so much better than Shannon Touch brush markers. So it doesn't make a difference for feathering, for blending like this with the tip. Not that you can't get, you know, similar results with an off-brand marker, but I think you get what you pay for. Now that this I don't think it dries as fast on this paper because it doesn't absorb ink very well because of the chemicals I use to make it this way. But it really doesn't, I think, affect it much with Copics. Maybe because Copics are not as saturated. But when I used it with Ohu markers, it was just a pretty sad, too much feathering. But I guess if you do full page spreads like this all the time, the double-sided double-sided use of the sketchbook would interest you. And then, you know, the con of maybe using like Ohu markers or another brand wouldn't matter as much. And then this is the raspberry. I'm going to go behind the petals here. And I'm slowly building up my Copic collection. I think I'll just do the 3 marker challenge every month and you know, buy the Copic markers, the 3 colors for the month. That's a good way of maybe not spending so much money, but you know, you'll eventually build up your collection that way. And one thing I thought that I would have the ability to do with these would be like put the top on the marker, but that's not possible with these. It is possible with the Copic Chows, just not these. But so if that's one thing that you love to do, you can't do that with these. So I decided to go with purple for the inside of the butterfly wing as well as the flower. But I am going to be using the darkest color raspberry because I need the contrast behind the flower, which is why I mainly did the raspberry in the inside of the flower here. This one I did the raspberry on, you know, most actually the behind petals. But if I did that, then there wouldn't be any contrast between the butterfly wing and the flowers. And then to give it a little bit of shading using the same color, which is great with Copic markers, just layer it again with the same color, and then after it dries too, you can do the same thing just to give it a little bit of a cell shading. Sometimes I go over the lines. It's not because it's feathering, it's just because I don't know how to color sometimes. But what Copic markers excel at would be shading with the same marker, where other ones fail. So for 3 marker challenges, Copics just work wonders. You just don't need to use a you don't need to use any tricks or anything to make it look shaded. You don't need to use colorless blender, but I'm sure you can, but you don't need to. So then I have a simple shaded look using the same color. I used to have I do still have Prismacolor markers. They're in America. It took me more effort to blend, but of course Prismacolor markers, they don't have a brush nib. Don't know why. You can still get the same results, and Maybe even they're better than Ohu markers. But Ohu markers are coming out with a brush nib version, so everyone will be excited for that. And maybe even we don't even need to use any we don't need to use anything that has a chisel nib, because Ohus are cheap, right? And then they have a brush nib too. I wonder though how much the cost will go up when they add the brush nib. And I'm sure that Ohu markers will still remain unfillable, but that's not really a con in my book, being that they are so cheap. But for, you know, Copic markers, that's something that's necessary, because they are so expensive. You have to mortgage your dog just to buy them. I think for the body of the butterfly, I'll do one side purple and one side green, but the dark purple here. And I think we'll do both sides with the dark purple, because I have to color this part green, and we don't want green on that side too. But now that I have, you know, a little bit of purple here, I'm gonna go with some green here. There's no green that will collide with it. And then these two colors normally would probably be really hard to blend, but because I'm using Copics, that's a big help. And because there's a firm brush nib, it's possible to blend them. I think anything else would have been really hard to mix these two colors together. This sketchbook doesn't lay flat, so as you can see, it's very, very hard to do a whole spread drawing. You could push it flat a little bit, but it just truly doesn't lay flat. My next video will be the Scrawler box unboxing, but this 3 marker challenge I did was very fun, and it has a deep meaning for me. I did an inspirational quote that later you will see, but I just love the blending ability with Copic markers, and I wish I had more of them, but I'm happy with just a little bit at a time. And so I think that this drawing came out well. I didn't do a mermaid, but in my next video I possibly will do a mermaid there. So these colors are a great combination. They're just perfect, you know, with each other. I always liked the pale lilac. I always use that a lot in my Shinhan brush markers before. Pale lilac is very is compatible with many different things, and so this saying that I wrote, it has a deep meaning and a really special one to my heart. Destiny will find a path. At first I wrote faith and heart, and I decided to change it later because it didn't match with destiny, I think. So destiny is something that's not planned, but you know, when you don't actually plan anything and you end up meeting a great person or doing something great in your life when you didn't intend to look for that person or thing. And I connected destiny with far and wide because, you know, destiny can reach from, you know, far away worlds. Destiny doesn't stop. Destiny will be able to find its way no matter the distance. And so, and then this on this side, in replacement of faith, I put strong story and belong for life, because destiny is for your life. And a strong story, everyone's story should be strong. And if it is really destiny, your story will have an impact to you and, you know, people around you, and your story will be heard from far and wide. So story is important along with destiny. And in life, you know, never stops, right? So things that we want, things that happen will happen, no matter, you know, no matter how hard it can be, if you have a good mind about it. I will upload once a week from now on. So thank you for watching, and see you next time in the next exciting video. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, like the video, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.